So good.
Yeah, it's recorded in the mind. Yeah, but the thing is we need to define what better means. Is this whole thing like we're coming at this from a human perspective? You know, what do we mean when we say like how? And that's why I mentioned we can't improve infinity because to distinguish like the viewpoint from the separate self. Yeah.
Have you guys read or at least heard of the Tao Te Ching?
Yeah, of course.
So
love it.
The premise in that book is really ultimately there's a solid reason to stand in the middle of things, to be centered, right? So when we're talking about something, for example, being better than something else, if you make one thing better, what you're also in effect doing is making everything else worse compared to that, right? So it is better to not lift something up as being better, but to seek the middle ground and you know, to center things.
Yeah.
So this, you know, I don't think that it's a productive goal to drive to try to chase an overachievement. And so I think you know, trying to be better than anything, when we're talking about the entire universe and all of existence, you're not improving as many things as you're making other things worse.
You're not improving as many things as you're making other things worse.
Right. When we, for example, if we have a race between 20 people and we crown one person as the gold medal finalist, first place,
yes,
that just means that all the other people lost the race.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, I see.
You know, mathematically speaking, we have 19 losers and one winner now, which is
exactly
worse.
Yeah, like in the same way, you could say that if no one loses, does everyone win?
Win.
I think the idea is to get away from winning and losing altogether, right?
Yes, but you could say that if you get away from winning and losing altogether, there's like an overarching win.
It's a win-win.
So like that's also, for example, I also believe in absolutes and relative truths. I believe that there are both absolute truths, but also relative truths, and they are completely true in their own spectrum, let's say, of absoluteness or relativeness. But yeah, like for example, there's no good, and you could say in a relative sense there is good and bad. And so then at some point you see, oh, that's just relative. There's no good and there's no bad. But then I would say there's an absolute which says, hey, it's actually good that there is not a bad and not a good. And so kind of you could see that as like the symbol of yin and yang. Like we all know this, right?
Yeah.
So you have like the good and the bad, and they're pushing against each other, and those are like the relative truths. And then you have the symbol which holds it together, which is the absolute truth. That's like the circle around it that encapsulates both. That's the absolute truth, or you could say that's like goodness with a capital G. Goodness. I like seeing it like that as well. Yeah, it's good that there's no bad and good. It's a win that you can't lose and you can't win in life, or that you maybe can win and that you can lose in life. That's also it's always good, let's say. I like seeing life like that. I think it's beautiful. Life is always good, you know. I feel like in self-help, for example, like one of the things in self-help is that most of the time the point from where we're starting at self-help is that we already are just too shitty. Like, or that we begin from a negative place, you could always say. Like, we think that there's something wrong with us, and that's when we self-improve. For example, I don't think self-improvement is something bad. I think we can keep on, for example, it's beautiful how you said with the balance. You can keep on improving yourself. But if you do, then your baseline should be that you understand this capital G goodness, that in some way you are always already good enough. And then from that, let's say, if you take that to be your baseline, then I don't think improving anything is wrong or good at all. It's like,
yeah.
Yeah. yeah, I wouldn't knock self-help out of the door completely. There's so many beautiful things in it also, I feel like.
So
Yeah, I agree.
So adding to that, like if this was a movie, right, and there's a screen, the screen is the consciousness.
Mhm.
Now anything can happen in this movie. We might as well have it like where the human is good with emotions. All of it's observed, so we're never whatever happens in the movie doesn't affect the screen at all.
Yeah,
So
I like seeing that as well. Yeah, yeah. That's a good one. A really good one.
well.
Screen remains untouched.
Yeah, like on
What's
here.
interesting at that point is, considering what's happening around you when you look away from the screen.
Okay, say it again.
Because I truly believe that our experience of reality around us is kind of like sitting in front of a monitor of some sort, where we have this projection of life that we interact with and experience, but I mean it's completely two-dimensional. And when you sit back and kind of remove yourself from paying attention to the screen and start paying attention to what's around you in this room that you're sitting in, for lack of a better word, you have a much greater awareness of yourself. You have a much better idea of who you actually are.
Could you explain that again in a different way?
Like looking through your eyes right now, right? Try to take a step back and realize that everything that you're seeing around you is a 2D image, and you're just having trouble looking away from it. You're having a real hard time moving your eyes off of this image, but that doesn't mean that you can't imagine what's around it. You can't imagine what might be standing behind you that isn't part of this image that you're seeing. And doing this exercise enough times, you can start placing yourself into that mind space of where you actually are inside your own thoughts, inside your own thinking. Once you have that kind of awareness and you kind of start paying attention to the peripherals of what's happening and not just the visual input that you're getting, you start having a much better awareness of who you actually are in your own experience.
Yeah. Which is, well, what kind of word would you use to describe it?
I don't know if I could use a single word to describe it, but I think it's important to understand that what's happening on the screen isn't you.
Yeah,
it's just something that you're watching.
But like, what kind of man are you? I heard the Rupert Spira podcast, David, that you sent me.
Yeah.
They were talking about how
freak.
Rupert Spira, he called himself a god man because
dude.
he was like he's like a secret Sufi.
Yeah, just calls it Sufi.
Yeah, so yeah, but like, what kind of word do you like, Chris?
Observer.
Yeah,
I think that's it's a good word. I mean that it's what we do with most of our time, is we're watching, and we're not necessarily even in control of all the actions that we're taking ourselves, but just being able to experience all of it is kind of where the bliss lies.
Sometimes the like, for example, these realizations that we're talking about, like this, we're talking about Advaita, non-duality, or I mean, like in the topic sense, we're talking about those things. But sometimes I truly, like, I'm a little bit scared that I have fallen into like a belief system or something, and like, and not in the way that I truly have like a lot of written text that I just rehearse, or something that I just
very subtle.
Oh, like I see it, I feel it, I know it to be so, but still, there's like this worriedness about, hey, am I not tricking myself? Because I feel like we've tricked ourselves, especially like when you. This is a funny thing with spiral dynamics. Like once you develop up on the stage of the spiral, I feel like at some point you're like, holy shit, I've changed my paradigm so often. How do I know that this paradigm is actually, let's say, a sustainable, healthy paradigm that is actually so? And because every time it felt real, also like a stage blue felt real, stage
Yeah.
like every stage feels so real. How do you know even that?
I guess you just gotta keep open-minded and ready for change. I think they're all real. That's the secret. They're all real and they're all true.
Yeah.
It's just, some of them need a little bit more nuance. You're never like resetting or starting with a completely new perspective. You're just adding a little bit to it. You're just
transcending,
fleshing it out
including
more. Right.
Yeah, that's true. But like for example, because I feel like with this non-duality stuff or this Advaita stuff, in some way you could say that it's kind of like an end, but then also it's not really an end, because it's like it's like yeah, how do you say that? Because for example, at turquoise, I can also imagine that for turquoise, it feels like turquoise has arrived somehow, or in some way it has arrived. But like, do you actually ever arrive?
I
In
think
some
that's
way,
only
yes, but also
because
not.
so the problem is that these stages haven't always been around, right? They, some of them were developed 30 years ago, some of them started showing up 200 years ago.
Yeah.
What we don't have any evidence of is that growth will ever stop. And I think turquoise seems to be like this end goal for a lot of people, but that's only because the model hasn't had a large enough sample size to identify anything beyond that. So, we know that hypothetically coral should be the next step, but we don't really know what that could look like. And people can think about it, but we won't know for sure until we run another large sample group and identify a purely distinct stage different from everything that has happened before. And
yeah.
Also, who's gonna do this? What we're gonna get tier 2 person to fucking
you, David. This is yours.
You got this.
You got this here.
Sounded like volunteering.
But yeah, okay. That's a good question, yeah. But that's also why it feels like, for example, this Advaita non-duality, it feels like a mystery, and something that always continues to be a mystery.
Also,
but then in some way, by seeing it's a mystery, you kind of solve the mystery in some way also. Like, do you see that? Like by recognizing the mystery as a mystery, you solve the mystery, because you can now see it to be.
It's still a fun mystery, right?
Yeah, but it remains a mystery. But in some way, when you can see it for that, in the same way that when like the dream still continues, but you can see it to be a dream, so that feels like it is some sort of checkpoint, at least. Maybe checkpoint is like a better word. But then, of course, yeah, like how do you know that the for example, no, yeah, you don't. Like I don't want to touch reincarnation shit, because it's so, we know so little about reincarnation. At least from direct experience, there's nothing we can tell about it. Like,
yeah, I suppose where we're going to get our knowledge from would be ourselves.
Yeah.
But even that, we don't even know if we see the same colors, but we might as well be naming it the same colors. But we don't actually know. Like I have no idea.
Colors don't exist outside of ourselves.
Yeah, that's a funny part. Yeah, that's a
nothing does.
funny thing. Yeah, nothing does also in some way. But yeah, I find it funny that they're now realizing in like physics and stuff that, oh, for example, a color is like an illusion. It's not really there, or they're finding out that a particle is both a particle but also a string, or like a wave.
Yeah.
Both at the same time, and that a particle exists, that there's like how much space is there in a particle, it's almost like 99.9% space or something, and then there's like
Another insight is you can zoom in and out of anything forever. Yeah.
oh yeah, fucking yeah.
I love that shit.
We spoke about this last time also. That's wicked, yeah. But that's also why I feel like the universe, you could kind of see the universe as like just being maybe just what the inside of a particle looks like, because the inside of a particle is like 99.9% just empty space, let's say. And the universe in the same way is also like fucking only empty space. And then you have like sometimes you have like little planet. So maybe when you zoom in deep enough, you see like the universe.
Yeah, that
That's a
zooms
good
in.
idea.
And then when you zoom out, you also see the universe, which would make sense in some way.
Well, okay. Idea.
Yes.
Instead of seeing the universe as 3 dimensions and you keep zooming in on it, what
Yes.
if you try going outside of the 3 dimensions?
What are the
You-
3 dimensions?
So
like-
yeah, like
Like
Height.
forward, up, and left and right. You know, like
Holy shit. So like,
In and out.
you know. Okay, so like we have numbers for infinite numbers, right? Like pi is something. Pi. We could say pi is a number. Pi is like a 4-dimensional number technically.
is it fine? Is it infinite? Right?
Pi, I'm pretty sure. And same thing with the golden or the
Yeah, the
Fibonacci
ratio.
sequence.
yeah.
It's called phi, like phi, but we have a number for that. It's like a paragraph symbol thing, and pi has its own symbol too, and those are symbols for infinite sequences. Okay,
Mhm.
just like how we have, just like how you can infinitely zoom in on something, like in the physical world, just like you were saying. Let's say we take a step out and we just put that as symbol. So we encapsulate all the infinite zooming into one thing. And that could be something
Yeah.
where we could call that as the universe.
Yeah,
And
we
maybe
make
we could keep
equations.
going backwards. Who knows? But
Yeah, that'd be
that's
cool.
what I thought about.
Because you should have to be able to zoom in infinitely, right?
Yes, made it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you could on this level, plane of existence.
At some point, it makes no more sense to zoom in because you can't see anything, right? Because
Yeah.
light itself is a particle, and at some
Yeah.
point you are going in blind.
Yeah. And there's like when you see the light spectrum and you see what a human can see on the light spectrum, it's like this
Yeah.
tiny. And the whole
Yeah.
spectrum is like this big or something. We can see like
Mm-hmm.
that's it. So limited, yeah.
Yeah, it makes you think like we talk with like the sound vibration, and then we see with the other visible light. Do aliens talk with like gamma waves or whatever? Yeah. Or like magnetic waves? Like it's just
Did you
you
guys see
never know.
Alien World?
I haven't seen that.
Oh my god, guys. Netflix.
Caught a glimpse of it.
Alien World, amazing. Like they I would say it's quite a yellow-ish point of view on what aliens could be, because they use like for example, they look at Earth, look at the air density, they look at gravity, they look at its mass, its rotation, blah blah blah, and they picture another planet that is kind of like could be similar to Earth, but then, for example, has a higher air density, has a higher gravitational pull, which causes the animals to be slightly different, which
That's
might cause there to be like flying herbivores or something like that
Wow.
that eat the seeds from other trees, and the trees in that planet, they release they release their seeds in the sky, and so you get like a certain different animal that flies in the sky and eats the seeds from the sky. But then you also get, of course, a predator that eats the flying herbivores that are now eating the seeds. And so they think all about this, and they they present it to you, and then every episode they have like a different planet that they
Wow,
speculate
that
that
sounds
life
good.
What
could
was
be
it
on.
called?
Alien World.
Alien World, yeah, it's 4 episodes on Netflix. Really good and really like educative. You learn a lot about Earth.
It does. It does matter a lot what planet you're on, right? I mean, the only reason we see is because our atmosphere is clear. But on a planet where visible light wouldn't penetrate the atmosphere, they might see with radio waves. It would be a completely different experience.
Yeah, exactly. It would be much better, much more useful.
Have you seen the movie Arrival?
Yeah. Arrival.
Where they like
Fucking good movie.
Yeah, I just watched that the other day, and it's like they their language dictates like how they perceive time,
Yeah.
and yeah, who knows? Like I think
It's a
think
trippy
that's really
movie.
cool. Yeah, it is. It's really good.
Yeah.
I wanna read that book that she wrote so bad, The Universal Language.
The universal language.
In that movie, she wrote a book. Like the main character.
From the movie, man.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking to me. I was like, what kind of book are you talking about?
It would be interesting. Just learning the language lets you understand time in a different fashion. That I mean, that would be mind blowing.
Yeah.
Time. What is time? Like, is it
David.
measurement of time?
Huge
Measurement.
questions, David.
Measurement. Of
David,
change.
man. David coming in with the questions, man.
Measurement of
Yeah.
change.
What is the meaning of life?
Yeah. What's time?
Just the biggest questions. It's
A
been like
one-liner is measurement
days.
of change. My one-liner.
I mean, time is an illusion and a helpful tool, right? I mean, the only reason we experience time in the order that we do is because that's how our biology works. But if we were to build a person frame by frame, starting with the end of their life, and every second another incarnation of like what that person would be, that experience that person would have if we went all the way through until they're born in the future would be their experience of life would be completely backwards. But they would have no control over what they're doing because we would have had predetermined it. And we have no way of knowing if it's any different for us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, which is great, I think.
Right. My mind is just gone. So
Yeah, my brain hurts.
yeah.
This is a lot of mental concepts, a lot of mental
Yeah.
talking,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
But
is
also,
why
yeah.
Get Out, it's yellow.
Guys, I got a game. Like, let's try and one up each other, right? With the most outlandish thing that we can imagine.
Oh, Jesus.
All right, who's starting? Me? Cool. Imagine a pink hippo. Can you do that? Pink hippo.
Oh, as in that. Okay, yeah, pink hippo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
I can
gonna
think
go
about it.
around. Jurrian, then it's gonna go to Chris, and then Connor. Pop that.
The beginning or the end of a circle.
I'm taking Jurrian. Nah, I
Okay.
reckon like
Or like the center of a circle.
that's round 10. This is round 2.
We could just
Yeah, it's hard to build off of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I could try.
Like a pink. Yeah. Okay, Connor.
Okay, what about time that runs sideways instead of forward and back?
Oh,
Okay.
what I was gonna say. I was gonna say seeing time as spherical.
That's still like around round 10.
Seeing time as spherical.
I think that's like another level above it. Yeah.
What I'm thinking of is like a pink hippo. Okay, cool, easy. Pink hippo with 6 legs. Okay, cool. Right, that's round 2. Okay, cool. Pink hippo with 6. It doesn't have to build off.
We're just very competitive.
Let's do it because it's fun, you know. Or what do you want to do? Fuck it, no. Let's do it.
In that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I don't know.
Thinking, or what are you doing?
Oh, so no. Oh, do you? So I say like a pink hippo with.
Yeah. There could be
Pink
anything.
hippo with 6 legs and 3 eyes. So it's and it's
Oh.
asymmetric. Actually, it's not symmetric. It's asymmetric.
Asymmetric.
So he has 2 eyes here and then 1 eye here.
Oh, got it. Easy. Okay.
This is like straight out of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Chris.
Yeah.
Now imagine that same strange hippo, but with wings, and it lays eggs while it flies.
Oi.
Okay. Got
Does
it.
it? Yeah, but it cannot lay its eggs inside of the sky, unfortunately. Or
It's
can it?
just dropping them.
Yeah.
It's just dropping
Fuck it.
them.
It just drops them like bombs.
There's no
Yeah.
rules in lucid dream.
Yeah. Bloop, bloop.
Yeah, like
Middle
oh,
of the sky.
That was funny. Like the USA hired this for Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Imagine that, round 4. All right. So,
All right. Imagine what we already talked about, but this hippo is has clear skin and is gaseous.
Clear skin and it's gaseous.
So this like weird-eyed hippo flying around laying eggs like in the sky. We're looking at it. So now we're evolving the subject. So in the higher stages, we can get onto what is spherical and what we can't see colors and shit.
Yeah.
We're looking at this in the sky now, and it's just a big ball of gas, or a big hippo shaped with wings, gas cloud.
Guys, what are we doing? What am I
no.
listening to?
We have
Come
like
on.
a minute left.
How
We have a minute left.
how low did we sink?
Your societal conditioning is creeping in again. But,
Unrelated to the topic, but I gotta hop off here, guys.
all right,
Yeah,
man.
it's
This is
also
really fun.
a meeting time. And I feel like for me, it's also like it's been 2 hours, so I kind of want to
Yeah.
hop off as well, do some stuff.
We got a minute left, so it could cut out any time. So maybe we should end this as soon as it cuts out.
Yeah, it was getting
Oh.
unproductive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
but I
look,
enjoyed it.
it's great being
a
here.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was fun.
Good to have an
Like-
extra guest.
Yeah.
Good chat, guys. God bless. Nice to meet you, Chris, and everyone. Like,
Yeah, it was really nice to meet
Yeah.
you, Chris.
Yeah, this was
Cool
this was
guy,
great.
man.
Cool. Yeah.
Glad you guys let me be here for this.
yeah,
Yeah, of course. And I would try to also be at your meeting if it would be possible, but you guys start really late.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
GMT time, man.
For me, it's like it's 4 a.m. for me. It's
Yeah.
kind of shitty. Yeah.
Where are you guys all at?
I'm at
North America, I'm
Michigan.
UK. Connor is
I'm Dutch. Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
ahead of me.
You?
Man, yeah. I'm here in California.
Oh, ooh, good life.
We are all across the globe.
We all